You walk into an Apple store. Your current phone still works perfectly fine. Sure, the battery drains a bit faster now and there's a tiny crack on the screen, but suddenly you convince yourself you need the upgrade. It's for work, you tell yourself. It's a productivity essential. So you drop $1,200 on the shiny new iPhone Pro Max Titanium. You leave the store buzzing with excitement. You feel accomplished. You feel successful. But then you get in your car and glance at the phone. It's flawless, it's futuristic, and right next to it, your old frayed charging cable suddenly looks pathetic. It feels almost disrespectful to connect this masterpiece of design to a $5 cable from a gas station. So you grab a brand new MagSafe charger for $40. You get home, set the phone on your nightstand, and immediately notice how ridiculous your cheap plastic case looks on this premium titanium body. Time for the official leather case, another $60. Then it hits you. Your old wired earbuds aren't even compatible with all the new features. To get the full experience, you need AirPods Pro. That's $250 more. In just 48 hours, your $1,200 purchase has quietly ballooned into $1,600, and you barely notice the extra spending. This isn't simply being bad with money. This is a powerful psychological domino effect that has ruined more people financially than any stock market crash ever could. It's the same force that turns lottery winners into paupers and transforms dream home purchases into financial disasters. This phenomenon is called the Diderot Effect. My name is Alex, and on this channel we uncover the hidden mental scripts that keep so many of us broke. Most people believe they buy things because they genuinely need them. Today, I'm going to show you that very often we buy new things because our existing things are demanding them. If you want to break free from this endless spending spiral and actually keep the money you earn, smash that like button and let's dive into the story of the man who lost everything because of a bathrobe. To understand why it's so hard to stop spending once we start, let's travel back to France in 1765. Meet Denis Diderot, brilliant philosopher, co-founder of the famous Encyclopedia, one of the greatest minds of the Enlightenment. Despite his fame, he lived modestly. Old clothes, worn rugs, a creaky wooden chair in a dusty study, and he was content, truly at peace. Then everything changed. Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia and an admirer of his work, learned about his financial struggles. She offered to buy his entire library for a fortune, the equivalent of about $50,000 in today's money, while allowing him to keep using the books. Overnight, Diderot became wealthy. So what did he do? The same thing most of us would do. He treated himself. He bought himself a magnificent scarlet silk dressing gown, a luxurious robe fit for royalty. He put it on, looked in the mirror, and felt elegant, felt important. But when he sat down at his desk to write, something felt off. The robe was glorious, but his old desk was scratched, stained with ink, and falling apart. The contrast was unbearable, so he replaced it with a beautiful mahogany writing desk. Now, the robe and the desk looked perfect together, but then he noticed the threadbare rug on the floor. It looked like a rag next to the new desk. It insulted the whole room. So he bought an exquisite Damascus carpet. You can already guess what happened next. The new carpet made the old curtains look cheap. The curtains made the chair look like firewood. The chair made the walls look bare. One by one, he replaced paintings, mirrors, sculptures, everything, until the entire room matched the splendor of that scarlet robe. And in the end, Denis Diderot was broke again. Years later, he wrote a famous essay called "Regrets on Parting with My Old Dressing Gown." In it, he confessed one devastating line. "I was absolute master of my old dressing gown, but I have become the slave of my new one." That, right there, is the Diderot Effect. When you introduce one beautiful new possession into your life, it often triggers a spiral of spiraling consumption as everything else suddenly feels inadequate. We think we own our things. In reality, our things own us. You might be thinking, okay, Alex, nice story about an 18th century French guy in a fancy robe, but I don't wear scarlet dressing gowns. How does this apply to me? It applies to you every single day. And today, it's more dangerous than ever because modern marketing is literally engineered to exploit this exact psychological mechanism. Let's look at the fitness identity spiral. You decide to get in shape and buy a Peloton bike for $1,500. This is an investment in my health, you say. The bike arrives, you realize you can't ride it in your old baggy t-shirt and high school gym shorts. You don't look or feel like the instructors on the screen. So you buy the fancy cycling shoes, $150, moisture-wicking compression shorts, $80, branded tank top, $50. Then you notice the bike looks out of place in your cluttered living room. You need a proper Zen workout space, yoga mat, dumbbells, maybe a new smart TV for streaming classes. Suddenly, you didn't just buy a bike, you bought an entire new identity. That's the core psychology of the Diderot Effect, identity consistency. We humans crave alignment between who we believe we are and how our environment looks. When you buy a high-status item, a luxury watch, a designer bag, a sports car, you upgrade your self-image. If you see yourself as a Honda Civic person, you're comfortable in jeans and fast food. But stretch your budget for a Porsche, and suddenly you're a Porsche person. And Porsche people don't wear scratched sunglasses. Porsche people don't have cheap IKEA furniture. Porsche people don't eat off paper plates. The new item becomes the anchor. It raises the baseline for your entire life. Anything below that new baseline creates discomfort. To relieve the tension, you upgrade everything else. This is exactly why the advice, fake it till you make it, can be financially poisonous. Buy a Rolex before you can truly afford the lifestyle. That Rolex will soon demand the suit, the car, the restaurants, and before you know it, you're drowning in debt. Let's talk real numbers, the true chain reaction cost. Most people only look at the sticker price. Can I afford this $500 item? Wrong question. The right question is, what will this item demand next? Classic example, kitchen renovation. You budget $10,000 for beautiful new white modern cabinets. Seems reasonable. But once they're installed, your 10-year-old yellowish fridge looks disgusting, even though it works perfectly. You buy a sleek stainless steel one for $2,000. Now the cabinets and fridge are gorgeous, but the old vinyl floor looks cheap and dated. You rip it up and install hardwood, another $5,000. The kitchen is now magazine-worthy, but it's open concept, so now you're staring into the living room and the old brown sofa looks tragic. The walls look dull. The renovation has leaked into the next room. You end up painting the entire downstairs and buying a new sectional. Final bill? Not $10,000, more like $35,000. Those $10,000 cabinets were the scarlet robe. They were the anchor that made everything else feel inadequate. If you had kept the old cabinets, you never would have noticed or cared about the fridge or the floor. The upgrade created the dissatisfaction. Here's the terrifying truth. Upgrades are often downgrades in disguise. When Diderot had his old robe, he didn't worry about ink stains, even used it to wipe his pen. It was functional. He was its master. With the new robe, he became terrified of ruining it. He grew stiff, careful, anxious. He lost his freedom. The same happens when you buy a pristine, white, expensive sofa. Suddenly, no one can drink red wine in the living room. The dog can't jump up. You stop living in your living room. You start servicing the object. You become the curator of a museum instead of the resident of a home. So how do we fight back against a psychological trap that's hardwired into us? We don't have to live like monks and never buy anything nice, but we can build strong defenses. Here are my 3 practical strategies to beat the Diderot effect. Strategy number 1, predict the chain reaction. Before you buy any anchor item, new phone, new car, new gaming console, new suit, pause and ask, what else will this force me to upgrade? If you buy a PS5 for $500, will it demand a 4K TV, extra controllers, PlayStation Plus subscription? Write down the full system cost, not just the item cost. If the real cost is $1,500 and you can't comfortably afford that, don't buy the Anchor. You're inviting a financial vampire into your home. Strategy number 2, the buy one, give one rule. The Diderot Effect thrives on accumulation. We add the shiny new thing but keep all the old stuff, then try to make everything match. Instead, cap your inventory. New sneakers, an old pair must leave the house. Donate, sell, or trash. New toaster, old toaster goes. This forces you to truly value what you own and keeps you in user mode instead of collector mode. Strategy number 3, practice strategic downgrading, the nuclear option, but it works. Sometimes the only way to reset your baseline is to deliberately choose humble, visible items. Drive a slightly older or beat-up car. Wear a simple, functional watch. When your anchor items are modest, you feel zero pressure to upgrade the rest of your life. If you drive a scratched-up Toyota truck, no one expects you to wear $2,000 suits. You gain freedom. Jeans, burritos in the car, no stress. A low-maintenance identity is one of the most profitable assets you can own. It lets you stack cash while everyone else is busy curating their personal museum. Look, there's nothing wrong with nice things. I love nice things too. But you have to understand the game. Consumerism is designed to make you feel perpetually incomplete, always just one more purchase away from happiness. Denis Diderot taught us the truth 300 years ago, that one purchase doesn't complete the picture. It scrambles the picture. It resets the board and forces you to start over. Don't become a slave to your robe. Be the master of your life. If you want to learn how to build real, quiet wealth without needing to show off, check out the video linked here where I explain the coast fire method we talked about last time. And if this video just saved you from making a dumb purchase this week, hit that like button, subscribe for more financial clarity, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't buy the robe.